Hello, ma'am.
Hello,
Good evening.
Nidhi. Very good
Good evening.
evening. How are you?
I'm good.
Many, many congratulations to you on your brilliant success.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
All right, Nidhi. So tell me what's happening around you these days after securing 202 rank. Has the excitement settled in?
Yeah, a bit
Yes.
excitement is settled in, and yeah, the people are happy around me. They are praising me, so it's a good feeling.
Great. We join your family and your relatives in congratulating you for this brilliant success. And thank you for finding time in the midst of all the celebrations for giving us a brief interview. So, Nidhi, tell me about your choice of civil services, particularly, and why did you choose to give attempts? Because I understand you have given a couple of attempts before you qualified. So, tell me about why choice of civil services as a career.
Uh, I wanted a service which gives me some diversified experiences. I'm from commerce background, so I didn't want myself to restrict to just commerce. So I wanted to work for somewhere where I could make an impact, which gives me diversified opportunity to work in different departments, to different fields like education, health. So that's why I thought of choosing civil services after my graduation.
All right, fantastic. So, Nidhi, you said you're from a commerce background. What kind of subject did you choose for your mains examination? And how would you guide the future aspirants to go for choosing the subject for their mains?
My option is also commerce and accountancy itself. So the main guide I could give is that one have to find out their interest. So you find your graduation subject as interesting, and it's also in the optional list of the UPSC. Then you should go for the your own graduation subject. But the other aspect is also the scoring aspect. Like the student have to check the past year question papers for their own subjects. So if they think that it's of graduation level or something that they have studied in their college, or they could answer it, so I think they should go for the graduation subject because it reduces the burden. Like you don't have to start something afresh. And if somebody doesn't like their subjects, then they should choose those subjects which could help them in GS as well, like the humanities subject. Um, and many subjects are itself scoring. Like people say that they are scoring, like anthro or sociology. So and they have less syllabus also. So all these aspects should be considered while choosing an optional, like your interest or the optional, the scoring aspect of the optional, the material availability as well. So these aspects should be considered.
That's very helpful. Thank you very much, Nidhi. Now, I would like you to tell me about your journey with the VNK Academy. I understand that you were teaching current affairs and guiding the students. Tell me a little bit about what you used to teach, how was your association, and then we'll talk about your interview.
So basically, I was connected with them for my interview guidance, and then with the later stage, so sir asked me for the some guidance I could provide. So I started teaching the newspaper, the daily newspaper. Uh, so it was helpful for me as well. Because it gets a kind of responsibility that I have to read the newspaper and have to find out that what I can teach from it. So it was helpful for me as well, and I enjoyed it. I hope the student also enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it and it was a good experience for me.
All right, I'm sure students must have enjoyed it. So, from which year you were associated with the academy?
I guess it was 2021 or yeah, 2021.
And this is your which attempt in which you cracked the UPSC?
So I cracked last year also in my third attempt, and this is my fourth attempt.
All right, okay. So this is your fourth attempt, Nidhi. So over the successive three attempts that you've given, what kept you motivated? And what kind of errors or lessons were learned after each attempt that you think is a message you can give to the future aspirants?
So definitely it was a long journey and it has its own phases of ups and downs. Um, but after every attempt, you learn something. So In first attempt, I didn't qualify the prelims. I missed it by 2 marks. So on one point, it was disheartening, but it gave me some sort of confidence that since I've just missed it by 2 marks, and I also knew that I didn't study so well for the exam because I was doing coaching and then there was some problem, so I couldn't study much. So I thought that if I give my best in the next attempt, I will be able to clear the prelims. So in my next attempt, second attempt, I gave the prelims, I cleared it, I reached till interview. Uh, but somewhere I feel that I didn't give much to interview, so I scored less in interview. So somewhere it was my own fault. So I myself understood that how I have to prepare for the interview for the next stage. So third attempt, I prepared well and I qualified as well. So and for the fourth, it's like with every attempt you miss something and you learn something and then you try to apply it. So UPSC is a long journey and it gives you so many depressing phases as well. But you have to just push yourself. You have to think that why you started this preparation, and it helps to just buckle you up and again start your preparation.
All right. So, Nidhi, did you have something like a plan B, which people talk about that if not UPSC, then this? Well, I have my attempts, but if not UPSC, I have my degree. Do you think, based on your experience, the future aspirants should have a plan B or just one single plan?
I didn't have any plan B because I didn't do my post graduation as well, so I was just an undergraduate. But looking at the UPSC trends now and the uncertainty with the paper, I believe that aspirants should have a plan B. At least they should think about, like, after 2 attempts, they should start thinking about the plan B, because it just gives you a sense of security as well. And when you go into that depressing phase, it helps you that okay, you have something. Otherwise, it just pushes you further down if you don't have any plan B. So should think about. I to suggest now with my own experience that people should have a plan B.
Thank you, Nidhi. Now, I want you to talk about your interview experience. Tell me about this interview and what were the questions asked? How did you respond to the questions you might not have a ready answer to? And overall, how should one deal with the interview panel?
Uh, so this time my interview is mostly based on my commerce background. So the questions were mostly about the income tax, about the GST aspect, about the money laundering, the banking system. So mostly around the GST, the commerce part. Um, for the interview, definitely we cannot know every question. So if we could think that we could make up some answer out of it, we should answer. But if we have no idea, then we should very politely say, sir, we don't know, because they also don't expect us to know everything. And buffling in the interview is not good. It gives a wrong impression. So if you don't know the answer, just very politely say, sir, I cannot recall, or don't know. And for those questions which you don't know the clear answer, you can ask the permission that, sir, may I guess? I'm not very clear about the answer. So if they'll give you the permission, you can guess. Otherwise, it's better that you don't answer that question, because you should not be uncertain, because you will be going to be an officer. So they don't want you to be in the state of confusion. Like you have to deal with the public. And if you will be in a state of confusion, it gives a wrong impression. So if you know the answer, give it your best. If you don't know, say sorry, sir. And for the preparation aspect, the DAF has to be prepared well, because it's the only thing that we have. Interview is some very subjective, and you don't have any prescribed syllabus for it as well. So our DAF is the only thing that we have to prepare for the interview. So just prepare your DAF well, your graduation subject, or if your optional subject is different from your graduation subject, then both the graduation as well as the optional subject, your hometown or your home state, and any hobbies. So they have to be covered very religiously. And then current affair aspect should also be considered. So current affairs, it's not the factual part that they're going to ask. They're mostly the opinion based questions. And also, when I say that you can say, sir, I don't know, it's not in the question of opinions. So any fact-based question, you can say, sir, I don't know, or I'm not able to recall. But if they are asking you some opinion, then if you've not read anything, then so you can say, sir, that I have not read about this much. But if they are giving you the information, then in opinion-based question, you should not say, sir, I don't know. You should give your opinion, and opinion has to be like a balanced opinion. So if you disagree with also the thing that is going, like any government scheme or any government project, so you can say, sir, these are the challenges, but they could be the positive also. So you have to give some balanced judgment. Just cannot criticize the thing. You have to give a positive aspect as well. uh, and Yes, this all the DAF has to be prepared well, the current affairs aspect, and now there are some in transcript channels well. So the transcript, the interview transcript with of the students who have already given their interview. So there are Telegram channels, the last year transcripts. So the students, so especially the new students, should go through these transcripts as well, because they have the detailed information, like the DAF information, as well as what kind of questions has been asked by UPSC. So it helps the new aspirants that what kind of questions could be framed out of it, which helps them to prepare for their own DAF as well. So that could be done for the interview aspect.
That was a very detailed answer, Nidhi. Thank you. Nidhi, tell me about the moment when you entered the interview hall and the presentation, the dressing, the welcoming and greeting, and the breaking the ice. Many a times, that brink of nervousness is when, first impression makes the last impression. How do you think one should tackle the presentation, including dressing and sitting and greeting part, and the exiting part, in terms of, leaving the hall and then walking with confidence? Tell me a little about that to newbies.
So there are two aspects to it. First, your internal confidence, and second would be the practice. So internal confidence, I would say some people are inherently confident and they are much more open, extrovert, and some people are little introvert and underconfident. So those people who are already well settled in that, they don't have to do much about that. But I would say internal confidence has to be generated. Like you have to think that you have reached till this stage, so you are worthy of giving that interview. It's not some favor to you. You are worthy of giving it, and you have that ability and capability that they are going to interview you. So just build that confidence that yes, I am capable and I have to give. And actually, they're sitting for my interview. So it's like this is a golden opportunity for you. Like such big people, coveted people are going to interview you. So build that confidence. Be happy about that you are giving the interview. It's going to be a very nice experience. And second part, practice part, it would be the mocks. So many mocks are available now. So these mocks, the mock interviews helps you practice the entry part, the etiquette part, the dressing part, how you have to speak, how you have to greet the panel members. So that part is you can go with the practice, and the internal confidence has to come with you. You have to think about it, just feel good about it that you are going to give the interview. And the panel members are very humble, so they don't make you feel any I mean, they basically calm you down, and it's a nice experience. Actually, the environment is very good, so
Okay.
it's
Okay,
good.
brilliant. So, Nidhi, you talked about the importance of mocks and practice. So, tell me about your experience with the VNK mock interview, and how did you think that facilitated your interview performance in the real UPSC interview?
So mock interview, BNK mock interview was very good. The panel members were very good. And the mocks helps you practice and it helps you the kind of questions that could be asked. So since we are also the learners, we don't know what kind of questions could be asked from the DAF, but the panel members are experienced, so they know that what kind of questions could be framed out of our DAF. So helps us idea to prepare well. And this happened with the VNK mock interview as well. So the panel members were good. They asked me like diversified questions from different aspects of the DAF, and which helped me prepare well. I helped to identify that what areas I'm lacking in, which I will prepare further. So that way the mock interviews help.
So, Nidhi, was there anything in your interview this time that you had learned from because you last year also you said you went in the interview in your third attempt. What difference or what learning did you carry to your this interview that you think might have made a difference in your ranking?
Uh, Last year, I believe that I got a little nervous when I was not knowing the questions, or so I got a little nervous that how the interview is going. Will it give a wrong impression that I don't know the answer, or am I framing the questions or the answers in a right way? So I got a little nervous. But this time I was well prepared that even if I don't know the answer, it's okay. I will say no, or I will just answer, and I don't think about the past question that I've answered. I will just focus on the next question that's going to be asked to me. So
Hmm.
just so that is aspect that have to be considered in the interview, that you need to, you should not think about the answer that you've already given, because it hampers your the further interview as well. So just leave the question that you've answered and focus on the next question. So that one learning I think helps me, and I prepared my interview or the DAF much more detailed this time, so it helped.
Okay. Okay. Nidhi, many a times when people start preparing for interviews or mains or prelims, the very process of beginning to prepare, people get daunted that it might require 28 hours of study, 21, or, more than the hours in a day. So strategically and practically, because you are now a qualified candidate or, successful candidate with 4 attempts, tell me how realistically one can make the timetable, and how really genuinely how many hours did you give to your preparation?
Uh, So it's not practically possible to give like 12 or 14 hours every day. It's not practically possible. So 8 to 9 hours, I would say, is sufficient. And these number of hours is only that we can sustain for long, because it's not just a matter of 15 days, 20 days, or 1 month. It's going to be at least a year, 2 years, like 1 year for the preparation and 1 year for the exam. So at least 2 years, you cannot sustain for that. So 8 to 9 hours, consistent is the key. Like you have to study every day. Obviously there would be days then you can't study, you don't have uh, I mean, it's sometimes you are low, sometimes you don't feel like studying. So everybody goes through this. I do also have these times when I don't want to study, and I used to go out, watch some movie, talk to your parents, family, friends, anybody who you feel positive while talking. So that should be done, and consistent study is required, like 8 to 9 hours study. Um, and you have to divide your time between your optional and the GS. And I would say now the optional part of the UPSC, what I have realized that they're not giving so disproportionately high marks in optional now. Like earlier, they used to be like above 300 marks. So many few people are getting those marks. So now you have to give equal time to GS and the optional. So you cannot just ignore your GS for the optional, or so they have to be balanced. And essay part is also very important, that you should not ignore essay. Essay scoring for the, and if you like, there are huge divergence in this marks of essay. Either you are getting like very low marks or either getting very high marks. So essay have to be prepared well. So you and start with the basic books like the NCRT, the basic spectrum, Lakshmikant, which every topper suggests. So start with the basic books, and divide your time between the optional and the GS for few months. And then for the prelims, dedicate your 3 months dedicatedly. Like for the May paper, you have to start from March, April, and May. Uh, and till the March, like till February last, you should aim that at least you cover your GS part and your optional at least 70 to 80%. So that what I would say. And after your prelims, you should dedicatedly focus on your optional and mains. And mains answer writing is also very important. Um, and like after, like near to the exam, you should give more hours of study, like 12 hours. But I am the person who cannot work like after 12 hours, my mind stops working. So I have to sustain this much only. Like many people have more capacity. So you should, but near to the exam, you should give your full capacity, whatever you have, 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours.
Okay, that's brilliant. I think that was a very detailed understanding, and you have inspired a lot of people, not only from your region and state, but the faculty and the group and the upcoming students of VNK Academy. And I'm sure that you will be available for interviews and mentorship and training sessions in future, and you will continue to inspire. And we are very happy that as a part of VNK, we were facilitative, one of the instruments in your success. And heartfelt congratulations to you and your family and your friends and relatives and whoever motivated you to reach where you are, Nidhi. We are all very proud of you. And to conclude the interview, I would just ask you that if you have any message to give to the upcoming aspirants, that is a key takeaway from your journey to cracking and becoming a UPSC topper.
So the key takeaway would be that this is a long journey. So like very few lucky people clear it in like first attempt or second attempt. So it's going to be a long journey if you're really serious about it. So there will be low phases. So in those low phases, you have to remember that why you started this preparation, because sometimes it gets like self-doubt and whether you are even capable of doing it or not, or whether you actually want to do it or not. So just think about it the moment that you thought, and there should be some a good reason that why you started this preparation, some solid, I would say, some strong reason, and you remember that reason, and it will help you to just buckle up from that think of that low phase, and it will help you just come again and start again. So that will be the key takeaway.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Nidhi. It was lovely
Thank you.
chatting with you and very inspiring. We wish you all the very best and congratulate you once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.